Every sprinter needs to solve these 5 problems to get faster and to break through plateaus. And the elite sprinters that I compete against have already figured this out, and they probably will hate me for sharing these secrets. So let's dive into it. Pillar number 1, we gotta overcome and build an elite mindset. So what does that mean? Here we have 2 sprinters, right? 2 separate homies trying to get faster. One is training smart and one is training hard but wrong. So here's the mistake. Your mindset is slowing you down. Most sprinters train hard, but they're training wrong. This guy over here, he's over here. We'll go back with the same analogy. This guy over here, so Jimmy is doing everything he possibly can, but is not getting faster because Jimmy is making these mistakes. He's grinding 7 days, right, a week. Jimmy is lifting like a bodybuilder. Jimmy's lifting like a bodybuilder. One, the next thing Jimmy's doing wrong is he's just doing the wrong drills. He's also ignoring his sprint mechanics. And if you're doing these things, you're probably going to stay slow, honestly. Right. And on the other hand, we have a sprinter who's, obsessed over the smallest of details. Instead of Jimmy, we're going to call this guy, what goes with Jimmy? We got Jimmy versus Timmy, right? So this is Timmy. And let's not even go with Red because Timmy's doing things right, right? So we have Timmy over here. Timmy is absolutely blazing his competition on the track, right? And Timmy is doing this because he's obsessing over the small details. So, what is Jimmy doing right? Jimmy's focusing on his foot placement in the blocks. So, he's focused on mechanics. We'll make it short. Another thing he's doing, he's locking in his sleep schedule. What else is Timmy doing to leave his competition? He stopped training like a general athlete and he trains like a sprinter. He trains like a sprinter. What else Jimmy does? Definitely Jimmy isn't doing this. Timmy tracks everything because everything is data. If you're not tracking your sleep, your nutrition, your sprint splits, your recovery, you're ultimately guessing because you aren't tracking. So you need to adopt an elite mindset. Sprinters obsess over the smallest details, while Jimmy, on the other hand, absolutely does not. For years, I was stuck at the 10-7 barrier because I was training hard but not smart. And the moment I started studying my technique and applying force application in the right direction, my coaches and mentors saw immediate improvement in my time. With that, mastering their mindset of obsessing over improving, and that leads us into pillar number 2. This is what we call here at Protect the Dream Speed. This is what we like to call movement mastery. This is what we call movement mastery. You're absolutely sprinting wrong. This is a common mistake. You're running like a football player. 90% of sprinters waste energy because your sprint mechanics are inefficient and you're wasting energy. You're overstriding. You never want to overstride. You have poor hip height and just overall bad force application. Just overall bad force application. Now, the fix to this would be obviously sprint specific movement mastery. You need to focus on the first 3 steps in your block start so they're not trash. So your whole race ultimately won't be trash. You need to apply forces vertically and stay reactive. And you want to have a snappy ground contact. This is absolutely key. And then you want to train with intent on sprint mechanics so they must be dialed in at full speed. That leads into pillar number 3. And this is the one that is often overlooked as well: recovery. You simply can't get faster if you're not recovering and you're not letting your body adapt. So, this is what Jimmy would be doing. Jimmy would be wasting too much time training without focusing on recovery. Jimmy, like I said before, this is Jimmy sprinting 7 days. He's maxing out in the weight room. And this is what else Jimmy is doing. Jimmy stays up late playing video games and he never goes to sleep before 10 o'clock. And most days he's staying up till 1 a.m. So Jimmy gets about 5 hours of sleep. So what Jimmy is doing is making this decision. So ultimately what Jimmy is doing is making the decision to stay average and never achieve his sprinting dreams. You know what else Jimmy does on top of that? He eats poorly, right? So not only is he, sprinting 7 days a week, right? He maxes out every day in the weight room. He only gets 5 hours of sleep and he eats poorly. So Jimmy so far has bad force application, poor hip height. He overstrides. He maxes out 7 days in the weight room. He's actually lifting like a bodybuilder and he's doing the wrong drills and he has poor sprint mechanics. Now, Timmy, on the other hand, he focuses on recovering like an elite sprinter. He only sprints 2 to 3 times per week maximum. Anything more than that, you're not adapting. Timmy also stops maxing out in the gym all the time. Strength must transfer to speed. And what Timmy does the most that separates him from the good and especially extremely poor sprinters like Jimmy is he sleeps at least 8 to 9 hours per night. So let's go ahead and move into pillar number 4. And we can see how Timmy is absolutely destroying Jimmy. The fourth thing is nutrition. I'm running out of space, right? He's actually fueling like a champion. But before we get too deep into what Timmy is doing, let's talk about what Jimmy is doing. Now, you're eating for looks and you're not eating for performance. Many sprinters eat like bodybuilders. They go low carb, high protein. Not protein. I'm so used to saying that. High protein, right? And there's no glycogen that they have for sprinting. Football players, they're bulking up, they're getting too heavy, and they're acting like gym goers with no structural meal plan timing. Speed, ultimately, guys, is about power to weight ratio. And if you feel wrong, like Jimmy, you would never hit your top speed. So the fix is to act like Timmy. Timmy eats like a sprinter. Carbs are king, and sprinting requires glycogen for explosive power. So Timmy focuses on protein, or in this case, some cases like Jimmy would be protein, right? He focuses on protein for recovery. And he's doing it not to bulk. So, how does Timmy actually do this? So Timmy does this by focusing on 1.2 to 1.5 grams per kilogram of body weight. And that tells him how much protein he needs to be eating a day. You know what else Timmy focuses on? He knows that hydration is also king. Hydration is key because even a 2% drop in hydration kills reaction time and power. And now, pillar number 5 that every sprinter needs to dominate in order to be a champion. You probably guessed it: sleep. Now, I want you guys to realize that you're sleeping like a regular student, right? A student sleeps poorly, but if you want to be an elite sprinter like Timmy, you need to stop staying up late scrolling on your phone. You need to sleep way more than 5 to 6 hours, and you need to start tracking your sleep quality because you're ultimately losing speed every single night. So here's the fix: if you want to be like Timmy, you need to sleep 8 to 9 hours. This is going to make sure that your body repairs its muscles and also sharpen your reaction time. If you also want to be a champion like Timmy, you need to have a sleep schedule. And most importantly, you need to stick to your sleep schedule. Sprinting requires neurological efficiency, and bad sleep will 100% destroy it. And the final thing that you need to do in terms of sleep to make sure that you are going to be elite and achieve goals like Timmy, you need to track your sleep. Here's the harsh truth, and here's the reality for you guys. If you think you won't reach your potential, or that you're going to constantly make excuses about why you aren't getting faster, or you're just going to continue to watch these random YouTube videos, random coaches that haven't actually coached anybody to an elite level or ran at an elite level themselves, then you ultimately don't honestly deserve to break your PR, to protect your dreams and get that scholarship or break the school record. Because if you aren't willing to put in the work and see the results and the fruit of your labor and work with somebody who's actually been there and done what you want to achieve, then you don't deserve the results anyway. And if you're not someone who's actually ready to make that change in your life, then this channel probably isn't for you. But if you're someone who's ready to protect their dreams, eliminate all mental excuses, and go all in achieving their dream, then this is the channel for you. And in the description of this video, I've created a free community of all sprinters working to get faster for free. If you enjoyed this video, share it to somebody that needs to see this, because these are the 5 areas that if you fix them, you will get faster, you will avoid plateaus, and you will transform your speed into an elite sprinter. Let me know in the comments which of these you guys struggle with the most. And if you want more sprint secrets, make sure you subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.